Good evening, good evening, good evening, everyone. Lakeisha-mcknight is here. Welcome to the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. This is a podcast brought to you on behalf of Women of Elevation, Career Services International. And this podcast, we're live right now on Facebook, on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, as well as over at the womenofelevation.com's website. And so we thank you so very much for those of you who have been faithful listeners to this podcast. And so we go live every Tuesday and Wednesday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, the podcast itself, it goes and it really works in alignment with the nonprofit, where the mission is to empower women with the tools to be able to create, relate, and elevate so you can walk in your God-given purposes and truly live your dream lifestyles. That is the purpose of this podcast and ultimately the organization itself. So we always encourage you to visit our website at womenofelevation.com for more updates. And so we're proud to give you a second episode for this week. And we've been focusing in on helping you to attract new customers during this month of August. It's all about getting new customers and maintaining these loyal customers, right? And so we started on this particular course here, and I do have announcements I will share towards the end of this, but I want to tell you and give you a little bit of a nugget so you'll understand how to attract new customers for those of you who are CEOs or business owners. So one way of doing this is by understanding the buying process. Understanding the buying process is so important. You got to figure out how customers are reaching you to purchase your product or your service. You see, once you know these inbound type of channels that they use, you're going to be able to pinpoint where to focus your efforts, as well as which channels might need some work. Okay, so here are some questions, to help you determine your customer's buying process. Okay. Question number one. How are customers arriving at your website? So you got to make sure you have a website. How are customers arriving at your website? Is it through social media, organic search engine optimization, or just organically, through searching online, in other words, or other methods? That's question number one. I know it's like a loaded question, but that's question number one. Question two. What page do you, or I should say, do they first land on? Okay, when they go to your website, for example, or whatever you're directing them to, what page do they first land on? Third, what do they do once they land on a page? What do they do once they land on a page? So what directives are they being given? What are they encouraged to do? And then lastly, what content, the fourth question is, what content or pages do they go through before making a purchase? So can they make a purchase from the first page they land on? Or are you directing them to a certain area where they can learn more about a product and then be able to make a purchase? So what content or pages do they go through before making a purchase? So these are just some questions that's going to be able to help you to determine your customer's buying process. And I'm hoping and praying that this has been helpful for you. So take a moment and answer those questions, and you will definitely succinct and kind of narrow it down so you can make the process easier so that your customers can buy your product. Now, I do have a couple of announcements before we exit. Remember, we are looking forward to our virtual mega business mixer. That's going to happen on Saturday, August the 22nd from 5 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock p.m. So I encourage you, all of you, to visit the website so you can get your free seat. It is open. Registration is open. So I encourage you to go to www.therelateSeminar.com. So it's not just going to be about women sharing information about their businesses, but we're talking about the dynamics of collaborations, partnerships, customer relationships. We're building relationships. That's what this is truly all about. It's not about selling, but it's about learning integrated with understanding the businesses of other women. So visit the website once again, get your free seat on the Zoom platform. It's www.therelatseminar.com. Also, for those of you, if you're connected to us on Facebook, we're sharing information about the upcoming 2020 Triumphant Award celebration. It's going to be online this time because of all that's happening with the pandemic around the world. We want to keep everyone safe. And so this year it will be virtual. So what we're doing is we're opening up the nomination process. It's going to open up starting officially tomorrow. So we encourage you now to connect with us on Facebook so you can see what that is all about. And the way that you can get with us on Facebook is by entering our community group on Facebook. For those of you listening in on the podcast platforms, you want to make sure you join the community. And there, some of you listening in right now, you're already there. So definitely stay tuned for the information to be released to you. And so here is, for those of you on the podcast platform, here is the link so you can join us in the Facebook group. It's www.woecommunity.com. Again, that's woecommunity.com. And so, look, we thank you so very much for tuning in, listening in to the podcast episode tonight. We're looking forward to the information we're going to be unveiling to each and every one of you. So thank you so much. Be blessed, everyone, and have a great evening. Take care.